Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Shelley Plum. I'd like to welcome you all back. We are here today with Tiffany Papageorge. Now, for those of you not familiar, Tiffany is the author of a children's book, My Yellow Balloon. Right, Tiffany? How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. I am. And I'll tell you what, it's such a beautiful book. We're really, I'll be honest with you, we're switching gears. A lot of the authors that we've interviewed have been novelists and, for adults. And really looking at your children's book, it was intriguing. It was intriguing for many different reasons. One is that it is a beautiful book with incredible illustrations and really has a profound meaning, but there was a lot of symbolism within it. And so, what really motivates you as an author? Tell me what motivated you to write the book.
Well, originally, My Yellow Balloon was an assignment, a ninth grade assignment from my English teacher, and it was interesting because the assignment was to write a children's book explaining death to them, and I did that, but I didn't like the ending then, and the ending came to me as an adult. So the similarity between both times is that both of them came to me in a daydream at different times in my life, and the story was completed at the in my adulthood. So it's been written both as a child, from a child's perspective, and as an adult, and the merger of those are pretty magical.
You know what, I can imagine that just really lends a lot of powerful meaning to your work when you start it as a child and then you end it as in a completely different mindset in many ways as an adult. So, do you have the book in front of you? Can you show our viewers?
Yeah, which one? The old one, the original, or the...
Actually, how about start with the old and then show us the new? Okay, so that's the old book, right?
That's my assignment, yes.
Okay, great.
And this is the book now.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. And you know what? I know that you and I had a prior conversation when we were talking about, the youth today and some of the trials and the tribulations and struggles, our youth go through that translate into adulthood and how that translates to symbolism within writing. You have symbols within that book, don't you?
I do. And I do want to say that My Yellow Balloon, the ending changed, but what also changed is that it's no longer a book about death. And it's a book about our transformation through our loss process. And there are many symbols that kind of go in that direction towards that transformation. The main one being the color yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow is, in every ancient culture I could find, yellow is the color of transformation. Ancient cultures chose yellow for transformation. I don't know why I picked yellow. Purple's my favorite color. So, but
Can I ask a question?
Yellow,
I interrupt you 1 second.
Sure.
How, and I've done some study on colors and some of the spiritual meanings. How does yellow, when you look at that yellow in the book that you have there, how does it make you feel?
It's interesting because yellow's a really happy color for me. And so it makes me feel like happy. It makes me feel, well, when you look at it, it's a really calming yellow.
Yes.
It's not really bright, like, gas station bright yellow. It's a really soothing yellow. And so, yeah, it's to me, it's a bright and happy color.
So in the book, the yellow, when you picked that for the cover there, what did it symbolize?
Well, Yellow Balloon is the symbol of anything that you love, anything at all. It can be, we have many yellow balloons in our life. Our children, our parents, our spouse, the place we live, our vocation. Inside of the book, when Joey is given the opportunity to pick a balloon, there is no yellow. And the balloon man at the carnival picks his color.
Oh,
And that symbolizes that whatever we get is only meant for us. You don't pick your gifts. You don't pick your parents. You don't pick your child. Oftentimes we end up being born in a place we didn't pick. That. So what is it that's given to you that's only meant for you? That's yours. That's your yellow balloon. And so it symbolizes that. And so on the cover, when Erwin Madrid, who's this amazing artist and illustrator, when he asked me what I wanted on the cover,
right.
I said, love. Love has to be on the cover. And he did an amazing job. He worked at DreamWorks for 12 years and is so talented. But yeah, that's why I put that on the cover.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so does that, and for the viewers out there that haven't read the book, obviously, does that color translate through the story? How does it weave its way through the story?
Well, it weaves its way through the story because, how do I say this? Joey loves his yellow balloon. He gets his yellow balloon at a carnival in the year 1930. And the reason why I chose 1930 is because before the late 20s and early 30s, balloons were on sticks. And so Joey would have never seen floating balloons before. And so that would have been huge. And so he gets this bright yellow balloon and they play every day. And love, if the yellow balloon symbolizes love and what we love, really love is what transforms us.
That is true.
Right? And loss is also transition. It's also change. One main one is our children growing up. It's still our child, but my 15-year-old son is very different than my 4-year-old son, that same son. And you can miss the 4-year-old part of him, even though you love the 15-year-old part of him. So our love and what we love transforms and changes, and we change with it. And those are transitional changes and losses.
Yes.
And loss is also the gateway to the new. So if you look at the yellow as a gate as well, it's the love that we feel, and it's transforming us. It's the gateway to the new age, to the new experience, to the new chapter in our life.
Okay, so that's a good visual right there, isn't it? I mean, you're talking about love as a gateway to really a new dimension.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like a door. You open the door into a new era for the most part. So I have a question related to that. In today's society, today's day and age, with everything happening in the media and across the world for the most part, what's happening to that door, in your opinion?
I think there's a lot of doors, and whether it's whether it's the environment, whether it's the violence that we're seeing, there's a lot of things happening, and children and adults. I think a lot of it is so big we don't really know what to do with it all. Any given day, there's a bombardment of it coming at us. I think it's really important to, and I don't mean this in a violent kind of way. I think we need to fight for what we love.
Yes.
I think we need to hold dear to what we love and not shy away from our instincts of what we need to do to protect that love as much as we can. So I believe that's with all of the things that we care about and the way that things are going.
Right.
That is, we need to begin a creation process. And I believe with all my heart that the antidote to devastation is
Yes.
always creation.
I like that. The antidote to devastation is always creation. Well, there's a Tiffany original quote, right? I love that. I love that. So is that thought right there?
Yeah.
How is that in the book? Did you bring that thought process into the book at all?
I did in a couple different ways, I think. And one is that I was a child that had experienced immense amounts of grieving and loss. And so for me, the very creation of that assignment was creating out of something really devastating. And the fact that now when I look at it as a grown-up person and see that it's affecting, you know, thousands of children and adults and people, because really the shocker for me was the amount of adults that this is hitting. You know, I wrote a children's book really believing I was writing a children's book, and I realized that it's hitting the child and the adults. And so I think that was the first one, is that I created something out of my own devastation,
Right.
that is actually making a difference, which is
Great.
great.
That's great. And that's a good lesson for all of us, quite frankly. Yes.
And really, that creativity, whatever your creativity is, whether it's knitting or singing or dancing or whatever it is, carve out any moment you can for it, because it is so healing and it's so therapeutic and it's so connected to something bigger, that I think that's the first, and I think it's really tangible and an inspirational for kids, you know, to say what you're working on today in school, you never know, you know, what you're creating. And secondly, I think that I wove it into the character's experience, that his catharsis is wrapped into it, in a sense. You know, the creation of a new time of what he's going forward into. I think I wove it in that way.
I understand. Yes, absolutely. Now, what did writing this book, I mean, starting it as a child and concluding it as an adult, right now you're sitting here right before all of us, what do you think that writing that book taught you as a person?
Oh,
that's a good question, isn't it? It's not an easy question to answer either.
It taught me to listen.
Okay.
Maya Balloon came to me in 2 daydreams and 4 very potent meditations. And I wrote what I saw, and I heard what I heard. And so it came to me in a very profound way. And I think that, you know, knowing, like, it brewed in me for many, many, many decades. And so it wasn't, I wasn't working on it constantly. It wasn't like always there. It came in these little fits and starts, and I think that it taught me that. It also taught me that I'm a different person for all my yellow balloons. And when you're in the middle of all of the pain of something hard happening to you, it's really difficult to see what you're getting from it all, or make any kind of meaning out of it. But for me, I think I wouldn't be who I am without them, and I wouldn't have been able to do this or have the empathy, because the thing that the kind of the gift with purchase with loss or grief or transition or difficulty in our lives is that we don't realize that we're becoming more empathetic. We're becoming maybe softer, maybe more understanding, maybe deeper on some level, that we're becoming a more dimensional person. And so it's interesting because life is not all happy, and yet we live in a culture, in an overculture, where, you know, our social media is constantly staged of look at our family and look at this and everything, and everything's so perfect and
everything's out there, isn't it? Yes.
Everything's out there and everything's great, and yet life is like the seasons. There's the summer and it's really happy, and then it goes into the fall and things start dying, and then the winter, nature teaches us to go within and hibernate and rejuvenate, even though we do just the opposite and go psycho and everything else that happens. And then nature teaches us that the spring is rebirth. So there's this life, death, life cycle. The phoenix does it as well.
Right.
The rise of the phoenix, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it spreads its wings, and then it burns, and then it goes back to ash, and there's a little ember left that is ready to be reborn. So why are we so afraid of this in our lives? It's natural, and yet we fight it, and we don't want to talk about it, and we don't want to express it, and we don't want to go through it, and we want to bury it. And I really believe that it is it just happens over and over and over again, because we're supposed to get it, and we're supposed to make peace with it, and we're supposed to let it wash over us and change us.
Right, I agree. Well, Tiffany, those are some wonderful, heartfelt thoughts, and I am just so incredibly appreciative that you are sharing them with us. And so, if you could, I don't know, leave our viewers with who our viewers out there that may be going through a tough time. Maybe they're in a little dark moment, and what words of advice would you leave them with?
To be really, really kind and gentle to yourself and those around you. To not be isolated. To make sure that you are around people that can nourish you and love you. And to just be able to communicate with others what you're going through. Don't hold it in. Everybody's got something. You're not alone. And to just be able to sit with it and be with it, and to know that, our mind will lie to us, but our body will never lie to us. So really watch what you are feeling physically, and if you need rest, rest. Because grief has been said to be like another full-time job.
It is.
It is exhausting.
It is.
And so be kind. Just be easy on yourself. And just take good care. And I wish I could hug you all.
Oh, you are so sweet. Oh, thank you so much. So, for the viewers out there that may want to know more about you, obviously take a look at your wonderful book, and maybe even contact you. Where would you point them?
Sure. You can go to my website at myyellowballoon.com, and you can reach me there. And please do.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on the show.